Hello, everybody. My name is Jeffrey John Cox. I'm a Sifu in the EBMOS Wing Chun system. That's Sifu M in both Steppe and under the Lung Ting WT spelling of Wing Chun. And this is Isiah Harris. He's my top student. We call him a Sihing. You should call him a Sihing. He's your older brother. And we also do Latosa Escrima. I started Latosa Escrima in 1998 with Rene Latosa at a seminar in Santa Rosa, and I was a assistant instructor in my own little world, and I thought that chain punches beat all, and then he told me how hooks beat chain punches, and I was like, no, it can't be true. And I'm here in California. Eventually, Sifu Evans said, you go, get as much from Rene as you can for EBMOS. So I did that for a while. We had, seeing David Jones did that way better than me, and Sifu Smith, right? But they left EBMOS, so it was just me carrying the torch. And so we do an Escrima that's tailor-made to go with WT for beginners in WT. Once you're not a beginner, all the stuff we're talking about in the internet, is not fully for you anymore. But maybe as you're in advanced state, you should check yourself as a beginner again and listen and go, oh, I should go be a beginner. That's the way Rene taught us all, right? We're always beginners. We're always re-beginning on stuff we think we know. Couple things about our Latosa Escrima concepts that we do. It was Latosa weapon system when I did it for full seriousness. Before that, it was the Latosa Escrima organization. But the initials for that are LEO. So on the internet, everyone always thought I was talking about police force and stuff, until I figured out what was going on. And it must be true. Getting interrupted by the phone. And it's concepts. Every martial art on earth can use the Latosa concepts. There are no techniques. There's no specific way to do it. Do it however you find balance with. That's how we always talk. But there's a best way to do stuff for the human body. And each body's a little different and has its best way. But there is a general, fastest way, safest way. Those things are accumulated by us instructors. So we just call it Latosa Escrima or Filipino martial arts. I hide it inside boxing for beginners, and then we do the Wing Chun for all the technical. No, you're doing it wrong. Your elbow has to be just like this. That's the Wing Chun for beginners, right? And then they don't even get to do Escrima until they're at our 5th student grade. And then they could focus on, get a one stick going, focus on that. Grandmaster Rene, he never wanted to be called a grandmaster or any of that stuff. He never used any of the titles with us. He said to us, do you want to do it as a Filipino cultural heritage? You're all not Filipino, but we could do that. But really, we should work on our number 1 strike. That's how we always came with all of us European-based Wing Chun people. And some of us did want the cultural, and that was his attitude with our stuff. And he taught us a holistic way of doing it. And then he taught us some drills. What do you want to look at? All right, I'll look at a couple things here. So Wing Chun is way out here, and he's already got my hand, and so if it's going to be a knife, I don't want to get it out there till I'm ready to put it out there. Cut you, right? And so, cut you, right? But then he's going to cut me on my way out, right? Cut me on it, yeah, and win. So, boxing is the same way, right? Box is box, right? And then Rene taught me a system called doubletto first. And a doubletto is just the number 1 and the number 2. And so that really fits well with Wing Chun because we're not turning our hand upside down to punch in the WT system. So we only really have number ones and number twos, and number twos cross each other, right? So a number one style, use my thumbs for sticks. Isiah can do whatever he wants, right? And then it's a number one from the left too. And then Wing Chun is a thrust punch. So we would use this arcing, what we call the emerging C strike, emergency, to go with the thrust punching. And then Wing Chun does not have a rolling back fist. Wing Chun has a bong sao into fak sao, and we get off with a turn. So if we have some pressure, there's my bong sao, and if Isiah lower your elbow and comes through, I turn to slip it off, and I'll pull him into the hit. So in Latosa Escrima, we have the rooftop block transition, right? So I go for my rooftop block, and then I transition to a number two strike. And then if I want the blade edge to hit, right, I use the emerging C, and the blade comes around. Oh, I cut you with my finger, sorry. So there's this synergy concept, this overlap. And for those of you that are not blessed with someone to do this with you, that's what you're looking for. If you have a martial art and you get Latosa concepts and you look at another person using the rooftop block transition, then you look in your own style and you say, oh, I do karate, so throw a punch and I do a karate overhead block. And then I'll do my karate sidestep and do my karate, I don't know karate's names, but then you would transition the concepts between the two arts and synergize them together with what you already do in karate. Ha, 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 right, okay, I got hit, that sucked. All right, well, let's see, I need to hit first and then do my side block. And what would we do there? Using Latosa concepts, we would check our balance. I was too narrow and I was twisting without my feet in there. We would check our speed, timing, and distance relationship to the moves, right? So that very first one, Isiah punched me right in the face. So my speed and timing, I had too much distance in the move, too much distance, and I needed more time because he used a smaller distance, so he had a faster time. So to fix that, what would I have to do? I would have to make the overhead block distance much smaller so that it got there in time. So that's how we use the concepts. And the WT families are blessed because Rene was kind of, insulted by Lung Ting, to put it nicely. And so he was always trying to outperform educationally. And then, of course, the Germans and the Lung Ting people were always intellectually like, oh, I see you and I'll raise you one. And then the teachers, people like me, were like, well, that's so awesome how they synergize together. And we had to figure out when to give you all the parts. So we did something called disarms. Don't laugh. Disarms. And Rene loved that, right? Because we don't do disarms. And he'd go around and teach people disarms. And they'd get so mad, right? They'd come, oh, he says we don't use disarms. So he did that to us too, right? Don't feel like he only did that to other styles. And he did that in-house because the synergy, right? So let's give Isiah a weapon here, right? I don't know. We're at the Toys R Us, and Isiah is mad because they're out of business, so he's got the kids' bat, right? Oh! So I go to hit Isiah, and I hit him, right? And on the way in, I hit him here, and then if I catch his weapon, right? I held it with this hand, right? So give me some more, right? So then I have something to work with there, right? So if I get the weapon in the fingers, and I'll let go of his fingers to be nice, that's really fun, right? So it's going out my head, right? And I go like this, and I got his arm, and I'm hitting him. So this is just a movement pattern. If he does it again, right, and I don't grab the weapon, I just, right, it hooked up inside here. Right, so this is up here too. So the point here is, it hurts, hold it again, Isiah, is I do something like this, and I'm leveraging here, and then I'm grabbing, and he's letting go, and I'm keeping it on his arm, right? I'm keeping it on target, right? And then do this one, right? And then I got a wrist lock in here. I'm guiding the weapon into him, right? And then if I'm punching him, right, I hit him because his arm wasn't there. And I'm punching him and his arm is there. Bam. There's an arm lock in there. Sorry, Isiah. I just wanted to hit something. Bam. Right? And then he grabs me, right? He does the same thing to me, right? There's his hit. And so I'm going for an attack, and he's doing a disarm, right? He's doing a divine disarm, right? So that's just fast, unplanned example of synergy and how you work with Latosa concepts. All right, so then a few Rene style things. Rene never let us have that sticking out. He always wanted it totally underneath. If I hit something, my hand compresses enough for the solid to go on something. That didn't touch my hand at all. And then Isiah cannot disarm me with the other hand. Isiah, if he goes to get the puño, it's not there. Versus if there's a puño for him, very easy. And the point, though, is the motion. And we use point defense and all of these concepts to guide our training. And then we go back with just boxing gloves and we box. And we see like what happens when you're boxing, right? Yeah, nice, right in the face. So, right, I'm trying to get it with the camera. Thanks for hitting me in the face a bunch, Isiah. That looks good, right? Bop, bop, bop. Suppressed hits. All right, suppressed hits. I think under adrenaline, those suppressed hits would go an extra inch or so and really work. All right, I'll do one over. I just crossed, even though we didn't demo that. So if I go to hit him out of the way, I don't have my puño anymore to guide him, right? And then if I catch his punch, he doesn't have a puño to guide me, right? But I'm using his hand right there. The puño, let me do with it, right? So if I learn to guide him with this stick right here, it's teaching my arm to guide a punch. So we're just making the surface of our arm bigger for training. Protractor effect. So here at Iron Dog Gym, thank you, Isiah. Here at Iron Dog Gym, everything is this protractor effect. Everything is trying to synergize with everything else we train in martial arts. And